I now call the meeting to order. Acting Secretary Dykes will call the roll.
Vice President Abdul Salam.
Acting President Abdul Salam.
Senate Lead Boppet. Senator Benitez. Senator Bradford. Senator Brand. Senator Broom. Senator Burleson Williams. Senator Busen. Senator Clark. Senator Coakley. Senator Crawford. Senator Cruz. Director Delaney.
Director of Academic Affairs present.
Senator Duclair. Senator Elongwe. Senator Ellington.
Senator Ellington, Senator for the College of Engineering and Engineering Technology present.
Senator Gilmer. Treasurer Har.
Treasurer Hart, present.
Senator Heller.
Senator for the College of Science and Mathematics present.
Senator Henry. Director Keller.
Director of Internal Affairs present.
Senator Lopez.
Senator for First Citizens present.
Senator Rotman.
Senator for the College of Science, Mathematics, and Parliamentarian, present.
Senator Rumbaugh.
Senator for the Gloucester College of Health and Human Services present.
Senator Smith.
Senator for the College of Humanities and Sciences present.
Senator Snell. Senator Torr.
Senator for Students with Disabilities present.
Senator Vidier.
Senator for Marietta, First Street, present.
Senator Watkins.
Senator for the Honor College present.
Director Weiss.
Director of External Affairs present.
Now we move on to the approval of the 52nd meeting minutes. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the 52nd meeting minutes? Senator Smith? Is there a second? Senator Bradford? All in favor of this motion? All opposed to this motion? This motion does pass. Now we move on to the officer reports. We'll start with the director reports. First with Director Weiss.
Hey everyone. I started the month by meeting with Matthew Robinson and Brandon Jackson with Vanessa about MLK Week planning and events. As many of you know, Vanessa and I were working on a event that will be held on the 29th in partnership with CCC. going through the reporting process for racial discrimination. So that was really productive. He also joined the KSU Day of Service Committee, and we had our first meeting at the start of the year. So I work with alumni trying to figure out how to get the student fees to be able to be applicable for everyone at the events. Also reached out to Jennifer Wade-Berg about meeting to discuss how we can implement a certificate type program for police training within the university. I'm still waiting on a response for that, but I'll update you as I figure it out. Also reached out to some RSOs about helping them through the RSO policy changes. With that, we went to myself, Vincent, JJ, and I think one other person here. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting you. We went to the RSO policy discussion last week, and I got more information from the one today. I'll be sure to share with you all. I also joined the Policy Process Council, replacing Mazzani last semester. The first meeting got canceled, though, but the one after that I'll let you know. Also worked with Sam and Vincent on some stuff with the Center for Student Leadership and Service, which I'll be able to give you more details with going forward. But and then met with Chief Stevens, updated the representative contact list on our website with the Georgia Voting Resources page with the most recent election information, and just some general information with everything going on. I thought it was cool to know that Chris Henderson was appointed KSU 2019 Kennesaw Mayor Pro Tem, and our own professor at KSU, Charles Chesper, was ratified by the Kennesaw City Council as the city's assisting judge. And then with that, the legislative session has started, so Governor Kemp and Lieutenant Governor Duncan were sworn in this week, along with the new House and Senate. So anything else, I'll let you know going forward. Thank you. End of report.
Director Keller.
Director Keller report. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope that you guys were able to relax some over the break. I have been busy for all of you, so my wonderful committee met yesterday, and it is our objective to share some more information with you at the next meeting of events that will be coming up. I know one of our senators, Senator Benitez, will talk about one of her events that I encourage you all to get excited about, because this is something she is passionate about, so we should be passionate about it. I also have been, I attended a meeting for the Student Technology Fee Committee, which is, I hope that all of you are aware that as students we have a $55 fee every semester that is catered to this one, I guess, realm of the technology budget that allows for students and faculty to request funds to support different projects they have. So for example, we had a couple different projects submitted, and it is the committee's job to approve these, and I was there on behalf of the students, and I can tell you that your money is going to good places. And I also want to let all of you know that I will be interning out of the president of the university's office this semester, hoping my first day will be Friday, and that I will be working with the government legislation people. So I will be supporting the office during this legislative session. So if you have any questions or just want to know more about what's going on in the office, I'd be happy to talk with you. And I'm looking forward to hearing about our further events. Thank you. End of report.
Director Delaney.
Hey guys, so welcome back. First meeting of the semester, woo. So as you guys know, I serve on the undergraduate policy and curriculum committee. So I'll be serving on that again this semester, and there's one more seat for an SGA representative to serve on it. It's a really great committee to serve on. It literally goes anywhere from curriculum to specific courses and everything. It's an awesome committee. So if you're interested, please come talk to me after the meeting. I highly recommend it. Also, for that meeting, if you are willing to serve on that committee for the full semester, I'm willing to give you an excused absence from both Fuel for Midterms and Fuel for Finals. So just take that into consideration. Also, this will be my last semester, so if you are interested or think you're interested in possibly doing academic affairs in the fall, please come talk to me, and I'd love to have you sit down on my meetings and kind of see what goes on so you can determine if it's something that you're interested in. So just come talk to me after the meeting and report.
We now move on to the Senate leads. Senate lead Bapat.
Senate Lead Wapat. So first things first, officer reports, January, end of the month, do it. Second thing is, yeah, one-on-ones. Very soon I'll send out a doodle, just fill it up. Depends on what happens today. Third thing is, make sure you know that there's like vacancies in many colleges, and just if you know any good candidates, just come to me or Macy about it. Thank you. End of report.
We now move on to Treasurer Har.
Hey guys, I actually have a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation for you guys today and some documents, so I'm going to go ahead and hand those out while the PowerPoint is brought up. Thank you. So as you guys know, there's been a couple of different policy changes within the RSO system and the Kennesaw system as a whole. One of those changes that directly affects us is going to be the way that we request money for events, expenditures of any kind. In accordance with updated policies and procedures of the Department of Student Life and Kennesaw State University, SGA members will no longer be allowed to receive petty cash prior to paying for items, events, or any expenditures. Does anyone have any questions what that means? Okay, that means that no longer will you be able to go to the office, receive cash, and then go and spend it on your event. The alternative methods are paying out of pocket and then requesting a petty cash reimbursement from the business manager coordinator, Tracy Safford. It looks like this. You would have to fill it out, and it needs my signature and approval, as well as all the other information listed. The alternative solution to getting your events paid for are meeting with Tracy and then having the university and you mutually agree on a payment method. So this does not change the fact that you must submit the SGA money request form on owllife.kennesaw.edu and that all spending must be approved by the treasurer before meeting with Tracy. If you need help or assistance with any steps in this updated process, please feel free to reach out to me by email or phone. I'm always available and ready to help you guys out. Does anyone have any questions right now? Awesome. The second thing I wanted to update you guys about today was SABEC. We had our first meeting of spring semester today. It was very eventful. We approved 6 different RSOs for many different kinds of funding. One that you are all familiar with by now is KSU Miracle, and their spring event that will be held in March, which I hope you all can attend. Thank you.
We now move on to the interim Secretary Dykes.
Hey guys. So, my phone? We're good now? Okay. Hey everyone. I hope everyone had a nice break. Moving forward, I'm going to be sending out Sign Up Genius for one-on-ones for next month. You don't have one for this month, and you also don't have campus engagements this month, but you do have one for February. So go ahead and start getting those planned out and figure out what you want to do for those. I'm working on an opportunity for y'all for a campus engagement that I will be able to announce soon regarding elections coming up. If you remember, we did a thing last semester, some of y'all participated in the PowerPoint presentations in your classes regarding homecoming. It's going to be pretty similar to that, just trying to get people to get involved with elections coming up as our application does open pretty soon. So keep an eye on the GroupMe for that, because I'll probably post more info in there. And that's all I have right now. End of report.
Good evening, everyone. So until last week, I was the vice president, so I met with Director Weiss, Director Keller, and Director Delaney, and our former director, Josh Sukumar. And I've had a very productive conversation with everyone, and I was particularly excited about the project Director Weiss was undertaking about the certification programs, which I feel that would be beneficial for a lot of the students who actually wants to have clear-cut excellence in their own academic area. And pretty much now, since I'm the acting president, and I want to go away from the report a bit and kind of say that things might seem confusing right now, but I can assure you that things are calm, and within the next few weeks, I would say the next week, I'll be able to, get things back under control. Still things are looking messed up, but I would say that it is at these moments that we need to think about what we have as the oath of our office. I'll just read it to you right now. I could not actually pull it up, so I do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University and to faithfully execute the office of whatever the office you are at. I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest in matters concerning the organization. I'll make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of the students and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. What I want to say is, right now, even if we have any personal biases at this point, none of that matters. When we signed up, when we took this oath, we made a commitment to the students of the Kennesaw State University. We have 35,400 students who are looking up to us, who are depending on our work to make a difference on what they need to achieve. So when I say this oath, I want you all guys to just take a moment and reflect on what you're planning to do for the upcoming semester. Things might have been rough. Things may have gone wrong, but none of that matters at this point. What matters is what we have in the present and what we will do in the future. We have 4 months left or 3 months left, and a lot of us won't be in the office. I don't know for sure who will be running back, but we can say that when we go out, why don't we go out with a bang? So at this point, I would ask you all to be calm. If you have any questions, come directly to me. If you want my phone number, I'm available anytime. Even if you want to call me at 3 a.m., yes, sure. If you have any questions or concerns regarding anything that's going on in SGA, I'll be available to you all the time. And if you have any other issues with the way SGA is running, please don't discuss it among yourselves. Make the information, there is always an issue where when the information is passed around, there is gonna be a modified version of it each time it gets passed around from one person to another. And that's gonna be really harmful for SGA in the future. Not only in the future, it has always been harmful. If you have any questions or if you have any issues that you see daily or if you are dealing with, talk to the right person. Please make sure you talk to the right person before you make a decision on that. And as you all say, right now, two of our main things is to uphold the constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University. And we should actually put students over everything first. That's the end of report. Thank you. Now, we move on to the open forum. Right now, this is the place where if you have any questions or if you have anything related to SGA, you could actually bring it up. And before we actually move on to the questions or any other opinion that everyone has, Dr. Carrere has given us flyers for our creed, and I would ask anyone to actually just, distribute it amongst yourself. Yeah. And as you can see, it starts at January 28th and it ends at February 1st. The details are given all there. There is a big flyer in our campus, the SG office in Kennesaw campus, if you want to have a big look at it. Thank you, Treasurer Hoare. All right, now, do we have anything for open forum? Anyone? Senator Coakley?
Senator Coakley, just an update on what Maylon and myself have been working on through this break and as the month has started. We've had meetings with 3 competition teams on campus, and we've talked to them about what their experience as an RSO on Marietta, as well as like their experiences with SABAC and KSU and stuff like that. One of the biggest concerns they brought up was a lack of knowledge of resources on campus, and that if students were made more aware of those resources, they'd be more inclined to be active on campus. Another thing, I went to 2 governance meetings over the break. I went to that RSO policy meeting. There was an internal affairs meeting yesterday. I went to that, and a bit of an update on the dean search for their college. We're going to have a candidate review on February 6th. We're going to have video interviews next week, and candidates will be on campus the week of March 4th. Be there.
Anything else for open forum? Senator Smith?
Senator Smith, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. We also have a dean search going on. We don't have dates yet, though, so it's looking great. But we did recently have a meeting on Tuesday, and we have a lot of candidates. I can't say how many, but I can tell you that it's a lot, and it's actually looking like we're going to have some serious competition for the dean search. So it may take a little bit longer than originally thought, but we're hoping this means we can have the best person for the job. And currently I'm working on setting up an advising for College of Humanities and Social Sciences joint between academic advising and career advising. It's a little bit of a struggle to try and get academic information, so if anybody has any experience with that, I would appreciate some feedback. Thanks.
Do we have anything else for open forum? Treasurer Hoare?
In response to what Senator Coakley said, he had actually asked me to reach out to Dr. Cincevero about the competition teams, and I wanted to pass these around. So it has a lot of good information on there. If you have any constituents who have questions about the changing policies and everything that's going on in Kennesaw right now, I would advise you to check out these links that Dr. Cincevero mentioned here, and there is also information in regards to the competition teams in the middle paragraph. Thank you.
Do we have anything else? Seeing none, we will now move on to the new business. This is a place where if we have any resolutions or any appointments, we can actually put it on the floor. Do we have anything like that? Senator Coakley?
Senator Coakley again. Is this on? It's not. Is it? Okay, cool. Senator Coakley again. I did have a couple resolutions that I wanted the body to look at, if you'd let me. Please go on the floor. Cool. So we've got a couple resolutions sponsored by myself and Director Weiss. They're both regarding conduct in regards to the Constitution and things that it states. And the first is more in regards to the Senate, its makeup. It states, whereas Article 4, Section 4.9 of the bylaw states, quote, after the third unexcused absence, immediate removal of said SGA officer from the organization will occur. Whereas, per the Secretary's meeting records, Senators Renner Snell and Gia Cruz have missed upwards of 3 meetings unexcused, 7 and 11 respectively. Resolved that these senators be removed from office effective immediately. So we gotta like vote on that or something?
Do we have any questions on that first? So, Senator Rahman.
Senator Rahman, and acting parliamentarian for the day. I do have a question about the resolution. It seems to be written by a director and a senator. At this time, are directors and senators able to impeach senators at this time? Dr. Long, do you have an answer?
Point of information, the resolution has not had a motion in a second, so you can't move into discussion until that has happened. So we need a motion in a second in order to open the floor for discussion.
So is there a motion on the floor to, for the resolution?
I motion to open the floor for discussion on this resolution.
Is there a second? Senator Benitez?
I second that.
Any discussion now? Senator Smith?
Sorry, just for clarification, because I'm a stickler for things like this. So this is not impeachment. Impeachment is a separate process. This is specifically, like I just checked it, and it does say in the Constitution, after third unexcused absence. So like not impeachment, but rather a separate rule, correct?
Correct.
Is there any other question? Mail-in. Senator Ellington?
I guess this is to clarify amongst the Senate. Is the unexcused absences just the ones you didn't give a heads up about missing, or are they also the ones where you gave a heads up but maybe your excuse wasn't good enough? Like, is there like a set, what is an unexcused absence, so we're all clear on that?
Senator Dykes, hi. So an unexcused absence would include absences where the excuse was not applicable. I know that you can't call out for missing class or having work or having too much homework that night. Previously, absences were excused by Secretary Gumby, who has since resigned, so it would have been at her discretion.
Do we have questions now? Senator Bradford?
Question, is it possible to motion this to be a closed meeting in any way, shape, or form? Because it seems like a in-house issue that I would prefer to keep in-house. Can I motion to make this a closed meeting? I motion to make this a closed meeting.
Is there a second on the motion?
I second to have this be a closed meeting.
Is there a discussion?
Although I understand your point of view, we are the body, the voice of the students, and the students should have the right to understand what's going on in the SGA.
Is there Any other discussion before we actually move on to a vote? So, yeah, is there a motion to vote on this? Motion to approve. My bad.
I motion to vote that we vote on. I motion to vote that we vote on if we allow this meeting to be open or closed. Motion to approve this. Oh, okay. We didn't vote yet, though, didn't we?
We just vote, yeah.
Okay, all right, then, cool.
So all in favor? Oh yeah, all in favor of the closed meeting? All opposed? This motion does pass. Basically, the opposed motion was 12 and the other motion was 14. Is there any abstention? The opposition to the closed meeting was 12.
Is it not the case that the person making the motion has to abstain, or is that not?
Yeah. Oh, we'll have a motion for a recount. Yeah. Is there a motion on the floor for a recount?
Yes. I motion to recount.
Is there a second? So all the senators who vote for a closed meeting, please raise your hand up as high as you can. All those who oppose? Any abstentions? This motion does not pass. Now, do we have any questions right now against this? Yes, Senator Tour.
So my main question with this specific resolution is, what is the main purpose or point behind it that makes it different from where you would just impeach a senator if they're not attending meetings and not doing their job?
So as it stands, our Constitution states that people that miss 3 or more meetings be immediately removed from office. It was the case that people missed 3 or more meetings, but they were not removed from office as they should have been. So this is just fixing past issues.
Senator Bradford.
My question is, I see that it's sponsored by yourself and Director Weiss. My only question is, instead, why didn't you guys reach out to the president or the acting president or the vice president at the time before going straight to for this resolution, just for clarification?
Good question.
Just point of information, anybody can write a resolution. It can be a student that is not an SGA, you can be an SGA, it just has to be presented by a senator. Literally, and I understand where you're coming from, but just as a point of information, anybody can write it for whatever reason as long as they have the correct wording and the correct form on the resolution. So I don't know why they did it, but they are allowed to do it.
Is there any other questions? Senator Rahman and the parliamentarian.
Senator Rahman, I also do have a point of questioning on this, because according to the Constitution, as we are looking at the Constitution to base how we do things as student government. A government is run by Constitution. Now, with that in mind, removal of senators is a power given to DPO, and seeing as we do not currently have a DPO, and the DPO did not sign off on this resolution, I am unsure whether or not the Constitution allows power for a director or senator to write a resolution that would remove members of SGA without the approval of the entire governance committee, or along with the acting DPO at the time.
So I would read it as meaning that regardless of authorization or going through people, as it says, immediate removal, regardless of.
Senator Coakley, does this require a vote?
Yes.
Right. Then, if there's no further discussion, I motion to vote.
There is further discussion now. Before we go to the vote, I have questions. So,
There's a motion on the floor. Treasurer Harr made a motion.
okay,
It needs to be seconded or it failed.
is there a second? Senator Clark, Watkins.
I second to have a vote instead of motion.
All those in favor for the vote? Vote, the motion to vote, motion to approve. Is there a motion on the floor to approve this resolution? No, is there the motion was, no, sorry. Yeah. Is there a motion on the floor to vote?
No, sir.
All in favor? Yeah, is it, motion again?
So I had motioned to vote. There was a second. All in favor would raise their hand of this resolution, and then all opposed and all abstain.
So I'll hand it over to the parliamentarian as he is more knowledgeable on this matter.
Okay. There was a motion on the floor to move into voting procedure for this resolution. All in favor of moving into voting procedure, please raise your hand at this time. Thank you. All opposed? Any abstentions? Not everyone voted. We're going to have to do a recount on this one.
We're going to do a recount until everyone votes on this.
All in favor of moving into voting procedure, please raise your hand at this time.
Please raise it as high as you can.
Thank you. All opposed? Thank you. This motion does pass. Oh, my apologies. Are there any abstentions at this time? Please raise your hand. Thank you. This motion does pass. We will now be moving into voting procedure on this resolution. Is there a motion? No. All in favor of passing the resolution?
Is there a motion on the floor to approve this? Okay, all in favor of this resolution, please raise your hand. All voting in favor of this resolution, please raise your hand. Yeah. So in order to have the clarification, I know. According to this resolution, the first step is to pass this resolution to move on to the impeachment proceedings, which will have a whole another proceeding to. Wait, I'm so sorry. Ron, I need your help at this point.
y'all are good. Ron Lunk, advisor. So everybody else is introducing themselves. So according to your bylaws, Article 4, Section 4.9, there's immediate removal when someone misses 3 unexcused meetings. That did not happen in the fall. So to keep the Constitution, or to keep in line with the Constitution, Senator Coakley has drafted this resolution. So if you vote to approve this resolution, then these 2 senators who have missed 7 and 11 meetings respectively would be removed from the Senate and could then be appointed. Those positions could be reappointed to folks who may be more committed to meetings of the student government. Is that clear? Do y'all get that?
Treasurer Har, if I may, so does that mean by my motion to vote and then that second, all in favor of this resolution would be to remove those senators effective immediately?
Per the Constitution, yes, that is correct.
Thank you, Ron.
So is there any other discussion on the floor? From the audience?
Danica Roberts.
Y'all are in vote. There's no more discussion.
I apologize.
You're at the point of voting.
Okay.
I apologize.
Question has been called,
So all in favor of approving this resolution, please raise your hand up. And removing the senators, just to make it clear. All opposed to this resolution and removing the senators. Any abstentions? This motion.
Senator Rahman, I just want to remind everyone that those who are who write a resolution have to abstain from their own resolution during voting procedure. Thank you.
Senator Ellington.
Sorry, but how people that's also part of the resolution, can they vote?
They can.
Ballrooms isn't here, but Snell is here, so.
They can vote. Why can't they? No.
Point of information clarity. So there is nothing in the bylaws that says you have to abstain from your own resolution. It is common courtesy that typically people do. But there's a difference between a requirement and a courtesy.
So that we made it clear, I ask you to vote again. I'm so sorry about this, but for all who approve to move with this resolution and to get the senators off the Senate, please raise your hands. I need 24 votes together, totally. And we're going to do it until we reach 24. All those opposed to this resolution and to removing these senators from the Senate. Any abstentions? This is 11-11. 11-11-3. What's the procedure after that? I disapprove this resolution. Yeah, I vote against this resolution. I vote to disapprove this resolution. Yeah, we have 11, 11, and 3, and tie-breaking vote, I say no.
Okay, cool. So there's a second resolution. Once again, could you zoom in on a little bit? Cool. once again sponsored by myself and Director Weiss. It's a long one, so you guys gotta sit back. Okay. Whereas the purpose of the Student Government Association is to, quote, represent the students of Kennesaw State University, serve as a liaison between students and members of the university community within the shared governance structure, actively strive to enhance student success, foster an environment of campus engagement, and advocate on behalf of the students' welfare in accordance with KSU statutes, student codes of conduct, and the policies of the Board of Regents. Whereas the executive board is defined as the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, Senate leader, Kennesaw, and Senate leader, Marietta. Whereas, per Article 5, Section 5.1 of the bylaws, all members receiving stipends are expected to turn in a monthly officer report. And do I have to read? Okay. 5.1.2, documentation may include, but is not limited to, officer reports, end of the year reports, committee/commission meeting minutes, forum feedback, or other SGA forms. Whereas, per the Constitution, the treasurer shall, 6.1.5.1, keep accurate record of SGA expenditures and prepare 2 financial statements per semester, 1 at midterm and 1 at the end of the semester to be presented to SGA. 6.1.5.2, update the executive board biweekly on the status of the budget, must report on biweekly expenditures. 6.1.5.3, meet monthly or more frequently as needed with the business manager and the Department of Student Involvement. 6.1.5.4, authorize all expenditures of the SGA before disbursement of funds from the Department of Student Involvement. 6.1.5.5, prepare with the executive board members the budget request to be submitted to SABAC. 6.1.5.6, serve as chair of the stipends committee. 6.1.5.7, report to SGA on the status of the SABAC budget. 6.1.5.8, perform or oversee other duties as assigned by the president. 6.1.5.9, attend all e-board and Senate meetings except for excused absences as outlined in the Constitution and bylaws. 6.1.5.10, must serve for 2 consecutive semesters. Whereas, the treasurer has not fulfilled the duties specified in section 6.1.5.1, 6.1.5.2, 6.1.5.6, and 6.1.5.7. Whereas, the treasurer has not fulfilled the duties specified in Article 5, Section 5.1 of the bylaws. Whereas, per the Constitution, the Senate lead shall, 6.1.3.1, oversee all the duties of the senators. 6.1.3.1.1, establish formal meetings for ongoing communication with senators, i.e. one-on-ones, office reports, etc. 6.1.3.1.2, collect annual end-of-the-year reports from all senators. 6.1.3.2, assign all senators to commissions/colleges aside from those specifically outlined in the Constitution/bylaws. 6.1.3.3, maintain a program for the orientation and training of new SGA senators. 6.1.3.4, plan all SGA retreats. 6.1.3.5, attend all e-board and Senate meetings, except for excused absences as outlined in the Constitution and bylaws. 6.1.3.6, compile the final end-of-the-year report for all of SGA. 6.1.3.7, must serve for 2 consecutive semesters. Whereas, the Marietta Senate leader has not fulfilled the duties specified in section 6.1.3.1.1, 6.1.3.2, and 6.1.3.3. Whereas, the Marietta Senate leader has not consistently fulfilled the duties specified in Article 5, Section 5.1 of the bylaws. Whereas, per the Constitution, the Vice President shall, 6.1.2.1, assist the President in his or her duties. 6.1.2.2, serve as a student's representative on the University Council. 6.1.2.3, serve as a student representative on PPBAC. 6.1.2.4, oversee the duties of all the committee chairs. 6.1.2.5, oversee the intern program. 6.1.2.6, ensure completion of SGA mission and goals. 6.1.2.7, assign all internal committees. 6.1.2.8, assist SGA officers and members in the completion of any legislation. 6.1.2.9, meet as needed with the Vice President for Student Affairs. 6.1.2.10, attend all e-board and Senate meetings except for excused absences as outlined in the Constitution and bylaws. 6.1.2.11, prepare the SGA budget and present to SABAC. 6.1.2.12, fulfill the role of president when the president is unavailable. 6.1.2.13, appoint all directors to be confirmed by a 2/3 vote of the Senate. 6.1.2.14, must have a minimum adjusted GPA of 2.75. Note that this must be at least 2.75, not at 2.74999. 6.1.2.15, must serve for 2 consecutive semesters. Whereas, the Vice President has not fulfilled the duties specified in sections 6.1.2.4, 6.1.2.7, and 6.1.2.8. Resolved, that those officers who receive at least 2/3 quote yes votes shall be removed from office effective immediately.
Is there a motion to move forward with this resolution? Discussion, sorry. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to move forward with this resolution on the SGA floor?
Senator Rahman, I motion to move forward with discussion on this resolution.
Is there a second? Senator Benitez. All those who approve to move forward with this resolution on the SGA floor. Sorry. So let's move forward with the discussion. So I'll start with Senator Smith.
Hello, all. I actually.
Sorry for the confusion again. We need to vote to move forward first. All those in favor of moving forward. Okay. All right, Senator Smith.
You were right. Okay, so I understand all this. I read it, got it, good. But from what I understand of the Constitution, I read it for the meeting. I actually printed it out and brought it with me too, just in case. There are things in our Constitution that allow for the removal of officers, and that's why that's outlined in impeachment proceedings. And I'll actually read a bit of it to you, and it outlines if they don't fulfill their duties, as you have so helpfully listed here, and failure to complete any office hours, the governance committee chair then brings that forward within the governance committee. Everyone in the governance committee, which if you wanted to join, you could, all votes whether or not to put that forward. Once that's put forward, it's not brought up at the next meeting, but the meeting after that. And then it's brought forward to a vote. There's a trial, there's a hearing, you have the right to witnesses. From what I understand is that you're trying to bypass a process we already have and should absolutely go through. Let's do that. If you think there's a reason for that, we should definitely do it. But it should go per the Constitution. Not only that, but you're taking away the rights of all the executive officers that they have to witnesses, that they have to be heard. They have a right to be silent, and not be presumed guilty as well. So I really think you're kind of taking away the whole democracy. And I think that we should probably go forward with the Constitution we've all written and agreed to uphold.
Are there any question or further discussion? Senator Tour.
Going off of that a little bit, I understand with this resolution, a lot of it is based on officers or senators not fulfilling their constitutional duties. However, with what Senator Smith said, this isn't constitutional. So I think it's kind of being a bit hypocritical.
Senator Rahman.
First off, Senator Rahman, I want to say thank you for your patience with us today. Due to a very short notice on leadership adjustments, we didn't have very much time to prepare things to train people to move around and do different jobs. So as we are a little stumbling with procedure today, this is a new task for a lot of people today. Now, with that being said, I also want to thank you for understanding, because this is not a precedent that has been set at this university before, to my knowledge, that there have been impeachment proceedings within a student government organization, especially not at Kennesaw State University. So there have been? Well, all right, thank you. But still, thank you for your understanding of how this is still a new process for a lot of us, and we're still working on trying to figure out how to get things going. Now, with that being said, there is a rather long story regarding this resolution, but I'll keep it short. Originally, it was conceived within a governance meeting, but afterwards, it began moving forward without the approval of without the knowledge of the DPO or the director, Director Mogus, former Director Mogus, and at that time, this was being compiled by governance in a way that was not constitutional, and because of that nature, it's difficult to say that, it's hard for me to say that it would be constitutionally sound to present this at this time, as it does not have the full support of the governance committee, and it was not presented or signed off by the DPO at the time or currently, as there is no DPO filling this position. With that in mind, originally I was looking into this and helping research this process, but since then I have recused myself from this resolution, and I can assure you that the charges being presented on this resolution have not been adequately vetted. There have been a lot of deliberations on this thing that have been overridden repeatedly. And as such, I don't believe this resolution has been vetted to a degree that is quality standard for our student government to be voting on at this time. Now, with that in mind, I recommend tabling this until a new DPO can be appointed and governance can meet to approve this on the constitutional manner as echoed by Senator Smith, so we can actually move forward with this in a manner that's vetted properly through the proper channels and can be brought to the floor in a more timely fashion. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
I ask all the senators and the executive board members to refrain from talking other than when your turn is being called. Any other discussion? Senator Benitez?
So, Senator Benitez, Senator for University College. I understand there are ways to go about things and everything, and like I hear all y'all, promise. But are we just gonna ignore the resolution on the floor, ignore all these claims? Like, because I'm in a little bit of some confusion here. I really don't know what's going on.
Is there any other discussion? Senator Brand?
Senator Brand, my understanding of this is that it is not that we're ignoring these claims or just blatantly throwing it aside. We're trying to hold it to a constitutional manner, and therefore, seeing as there's been discussion about this form of bringing this resolution forward as being unconstitutional, we would like to have it go through the proper channels and have the constitutional manner of this discussion being brought forward in the future.
Senator Tour, Interim Secretary Dykes. Sorry.
All right. As far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is not impeachment, okay? This is a resolution. Vincent presenting this resolution did not need approval from anybody. He's allowed to do this. Okay, him doing this is not unconstitutional, and what we are voting on with this resolution is not impeachment. It is simply removing these officers from their office, because what is typically happens from impeachment didn't happen last semester. Okay, the resolution is stating that they are accusing these people of being ineffective at their job, and we are voting to remove them. This is not impeachment. And those things do not apply to the situation. Okay.
Any other discussion right now? Senator Benitez first.
So what you're saying is, if this does pass, whether it does or doesn't, these officers are removed.
There's a clarification that Senator Coakley wants to give.
So a point of clarification. If it's the case that this resolution does pass, we will vote on each of the officers that were mentioned in this thing individually. And if there's a 2/3 vote, with that vote, they'll be removed.
Senator Rahman?
Thank you, Senator Rahman. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Lunk, but I believe that the ability to remove members from the executive board is invested in the DPO. And as such, we do not currently have a DPO. I'm not sure if this resolution could actively move forward by removing people from the executive board by Senate vote alone.
My interpretation, and Dr. Chancellor and I kind of powwowed about it a little bit. This resolution would then basically catapult or start the impeachment process. So this resolution would, in the absence of a DPO, this resolution then moves the process forward. Is how, but it's not immediate removal because impeachment still has to happen. There's still a due process that occurs. This is the resolution that would then just move that process forward per the Constitution in the absence of a DPO.
Dr. Lunk, I'd like to point out to the resolved part of the resolution that says that those officers who received at least 3/2 yes, and there's no mention of any of the impeachment proceedings or stuff. They just mentioned directly on the resolve that those officers right after this vote who received 2/3 vote yes, shall be removed from the office. So basically, it is implying that the officers who are mentioned in that would directly go on the floor, and there would be another vote without any due process. And that's the wording that is written clearly on the resolution.
I hear that. But I don't know that that's the way that this really is gonna run.
I,
Right.
Dr. Sanseviro.
So of course, we are here to advise. That is our purpose. This is your organization. However, as part of advisement, it is also to make sure that there are not any disregard for the Constitution or violations of the Constitution. So while the resolution is written in that manner, if a vote were to move forward, part of that vote would have to include a specification about compliance with the Constitution, because what we would not be able to allow is any immediate action of the body that is in direct violation of the Constitution. So while I do understand the question and the distinction between the previous motion, so because I think that it's important clarification. The previous motion, had it passed, could have actually resulted in immediate removal because the Constitution allows immediate removal based on your absence record. However, these items that are included in this are ones that go to referral to impeachment process. Due process still has to be afforded. So that is the distinction between the two. That's why this one, as written, would not be under the resolution as constitutional. It would have to require an basically either amending your Constitution, or it would require you to have to go through moving to the impeachment process. All it's really doing is bypassing the fact that you don't have somebody in a position right now in that seat to actually move this forward.
Clarification by Senator Coakley.
right, I'll admit I should have been more clear in the language of this resolution. If it's the case that this resolution does pass with a 1/2 vote, we'll move into voting, well, proceedings, I'll say, for you guys' pleasure. We'll move into proceedings for impeachment.
Is there any other discussion on the floor? Senator Smith?
Thank you. Sorry. A couple things. One, if we were to pass this, just literally for documentation purposes, I would not even vote on this if you weren't to either change the language right now or change it, and we would look at this our next meeting, because as an organization that does pass resolutions that are available to literally all students, we need to say exactly what it's going to do. Second note, I see, you noted exactly what you thought they did not fulfill. Another reason we would need impeachment proceedings, or that I would even like to hear from the officers mentioned in this, how do we know that that's true? I remember my first meeting, Stephen presented the SAVAC budget, and you said he didn't do that. Like, that's literally the first thing I ever saw. So I just think that either you maybe need to take until our next meeting to relook at this, maybe converse with the people who actually keep track of these things, and change that language, and then bring that back. Or even, completely kind of separate topic, someone needs to appoint a DPO, and we could move forward the way that normally you move forward with these things.
Clarification by Senator Coakley.
So I'll clarify on 2 points. I think it is possible to amend resolutions within a meeting. It is. So we can do that. As far as Treasurer Har, it's specified within the Constitution that 2 presentations be made. There was only 1 made last semester.
Is there any other discussion? Senator Tour?
With everything that was just said, I want to say that, regardless of how you feel towards this resolution or the officers in question, if you want their removal, that's okay. But I think the issue here is that this resolution has a lot of flaws to it, and it's confusing. And I think a lot of us are of the opinion that it would be better to go about it how it states in the Constitution to avoid any confusion. Additionally, I also think that there are multiple officers in question, and that they shouldn't all be voted on with one vote when they've all done different things.
Clarifications by Senator Coakley.
Yes, I will clarify. If it's the case that you guys would prefer to see the language revised or improved in any way, we can certainly move to do that within the meeting, and it can be done. We got a keyboard. There was something else you said. What else you say? Oh, yeah. If this thing does pass, we will vote on all the officers individually.
Senator Bradford.
So basically what I'm seeing is the Senate is split to see if we want to vote or not. So can I just motion to get a vote?
No.
To see if we want?
No.
Can I?
No.
I can't motion that?
No. As
Well,
a chair,
everybody seems
no.
split.
Not right now. Is there any more discussion on the floor?
Can I call it a question? Can I? Yeah. Can I call it a question? Can we motion to vote? To see if we want to pass this or not?
Is there a second on the floor? Is there a second? Senator Williams, what was the motion again? To vote on this, right? So, I'm gonna make this clear. Before that, don't even try to vote. For those of you who are in favor of approving this resolution, okay. Okay. So this is a voting to vote. So those in favor of moving to a vote, raise your hand. Those opposed to moving to a vote, please raise your hand. Those abstaining? This motion does pass. So, all in favor of the
Right. It's too late now.
Okay. All in favor of approving this resolution, please raise your hand.
See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody understood that motion. I'm sorry. Nobody understood that. That's all like, why is everyone going to vote? I don't understand. Because it's basically like, okay, everybody be quiet, let's vote.
Ron, I request your assistance on this because the motion was Sam. Ron, since I'm new to this, I want to know if there is a possibility, like...
Y'all listen, I need to hear this, please.
Senator Bradford actually motioned a vote to move on to the voting procedure.
Correct.
Is that possible? Is it allowed to do that?
He called the question, so absolutely. So now there's a vote that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So to Senator Smith's point, an amendment could be made during discussion, but now that the motion has, the question has been called, no amendments can be made. So if you want to amend this, you'd have to fail the current resolution, make an amendment to the resolution, and then re-vote on the amended resolution.
So, since we actually moved on to the voting procedure,
so a vote has to happen
yeah,
at this point.
all those in favor of approving this resolution, raise your hands. I'll repeat it again. All those in favor of approving this resolution, raise your hands. All opposed? This motion does fail. Any discussion? Senator.
Point of order. Now another motion has to be made in order, because that motion's dead.
Okay.
And so there's no more discussion because it's over. So now you have to make another motion to reopen or revisit this resolution. And at that time, if anyone wants to make an amendment to the resolution,
Is there a motion to revisit this resolution? Director Keller.
I motion to revisit this resolution.
Seconded by Senator DeClaire. Any discussions? There is one from the audience, and then Senator Smith.
Hello. So, given the information that I have, it seems that you all have members missing already, and then there seems to be a number of people to be removed. How quickly do you see individuals qualified to be able to replace, to be able to keep the system going effectively?
Clarification by Senator Coakley? No? Okay. Senator Smith?
Two things. I'll make my motion. I promise. I think that's an excellent point from the audience. We're already missing, what is it? We had 3 senators or 4 senators leave over the break. I believe Sam Brand is going to Germany. That's another spot. And we want to remove half our exec board, and we're already missing 2 to 3 members. I really think this needs to take a lot more time in consideration and or long impeachment proceedings. And I would motion to change resolved to, let's see, let me think. Move forward with impeachment proceeding on all officers mentioned separately, potentially pending the appointment of a DPO, something that's really important. It would be great to have right now.
Is there a second? Was there a motion?
The motion on the floor is to revisit the resolution, which is seconded. You're in discussion on whether or not to even revisit the resolution. So the discussion is great, but until you vote on whether or not you've actually reopened the resolution, you can't edit the resolution. So you need to vote on the current motion on the floor, and then amendments are possible.
Is there any more discussion before we actually move on to a vote? All in favor of revisiting this resolution, please raise your hand. All those in favor, all those opposing? Any abstentions? This motion does pass. Should there be another motion now?
Okay.
Senator DeClaire.
So my question is, I've had some opportunity to speak with some individuals on the matter, but for the individuals in question, I know somebody kind of already asked, but is there anything that you guys would want to say or want us to know before?
That's not part of the, that's not part of the due process unless they choose to just ask questions as part of the discussion.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm literally asking. Like, if you guys would want to say anything. Can I not ask that? If they choose, if they have the opportunity.
I think it should be more specific about, like one of the allegations, if they could expand on that.
But point of order on Robert's rules. You speak to the motion at hand.
Okay.
Each member of the body gets one opportunity to speak, and there should never be any repeat of an item that's already been spoken. That's Robert's Rules 101.
Okay.
So, this is not the opportunity or the place where you would actually require statements or commentary on the accusations. It's simply a question of whether or not the body feels this resolution should move forward toward applying the Constitution to look at impeachment proceedings. Which the result does need to be clarified.
So, yes, is there a motion right now to change the, amend the resolution to whatever? Senator Smith? I'm so sorry, she has the wordings that.
So sorry for the confusion again, but make my motion. So motion to change resolved to resolved impeachment proceeding shall continue pending the appointment of a DPO officer.
Is there a second to that motion? Is there a second?
So change resolved from just voting to moving into impeachment proceedings.
Is there a second on the floor? Senator DeClaire? All those in favor of passing that amendment to the resolution, please raise your hand up. Please raise it as high as you can sometime. Senator Watkins, are you? All opposed? Any abstentions? This motion does pass.
And please feel free to clarify as you see fit. As I'm typing. Yeah, could you repeat that?
Just change it to impeachment proceedings. Moving into impeachment proceedings.
Senator Smith. Senator Smith, could you say that in the microphone?
Yes, Vincent. Just change it to, if this resolution passes, we will move into impeachment proceedings.
Is this correct?
Yes. Do you feel like you should maybe clarify separate impeachment proceedings for each officer? Maybe. Just throwing that out there. Okay, good.
Is the amendment made, and is it correct?
The amendment is made.
Okay. Which, Dr. Lunk, I'll ask your advice again. Now we have to move another motion for another discussion, right? Or
The amendment has been made, and so discussion is, the floor is open for discussion.
okay. And are there discussion now? Is there any discussion on the floor for that? If there is, Senator Watkins?
My question just is, so are we, now that it's been amended, are we about to vote?
Now, this is a discussion. There will be another motion to vote, in my opinion.
What are we voting on?
Passing this resolution.
Okay, so if
So,
it gets passed.
If it gets passed, the aforementioned officers will move on to the impeachment proceedings.
So
which-
that's, so once it gets passed, nothing else is happening
Once it
tonight?
gets passed, the impeachment proceedings has to go according to how it is outlined in the Constitution.
Okay.
Ron,
Some information, sorry, after a little sidebar. To be cleaner, it may be best to actually make a motion to accept the amended resolution so that everyone knows that that is what you are discussing and will then vote on.
Okay. Is there a motion on the floor to accept the amended resolution? Senator Ellington?
I motion to, oh, my bad. I motion to accept the amended resolution.
Is there a second on the floor? Senator Thur, all those in favor? Oh, any discussion? My bad. Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting this resolution, amendment made to the resolution?
It's a resolution. It's now a resolution.
Right, this is the acceptance of the resolution as written.
All those in favor of accepting this resolution as written? All opposed? Any abstentions? This motion does pass. No.
Now back to discussion where you were.
Okay, so now any other discussion, any other comment, any other questions? So, clarification by Senator Coakley. Oh, Senator Bradford?
Yeah. My question is, when we motion to vote on this resolution, will the people we're voting on have to leave? Because I feel like that y'all should leave. No, I'm saying like leave the room while we make the vote. Like, you know what I mean?
Dr. Sensabiro.
Okay, so for point of clarification, the resolved is that you are moving to impeachment procedures, which is per the Constitution, which means there's no further voting tonight on the matter. At this point, this matter's done. So, right, so for tonight, you're done. Basically, after tonight, then the impeachment procedures pick up where your Constitution specifies, which basically, based on this, would be picking up at 16.3. So that's basically where you would pick up. The accused officers shall be afforded the following due process. And so that will now be the work of the body moving forward, will be to set this up. And again, your Constitution clarifies who chairs the impeachment hearings, what notice needs to be made. So after tonight, since you all voted to move forward with this resolution, then the impeachment proceedings will begin, and each of the individuals named in here will get their individual notice, and individual hearings will be set up, and they'll be given all of the rights afforded to them in the Constitution, at which point, at a future point, then there would be a vote on that matter. Yeah, it's still done individually, but it's not happening tonight.
So for further clarification on that, the first two parts of the second part of the 16th bylaw is the governance chair committee, for those of you who do not have the bylaws in hand. So the first one is basically the offenses that can be used to remove or to impeach the officers. And the second one is the procedure through which, the first procedure through which the governance committee must go through to inform the officers. So I'll read through it. The governance committee chair shall be responsible for sending the SGA officer to be impeached by a letter by email within 2 days after the vote is taken by governance committee to impeach said officer. The letter shall outline subsequent impeachment process and charges of impeachment. The letter shall be sent to the SGA executive board in the same amount of time. So what we're talking about right now is we will completely bypass this part of the Constitution and move to 16.3, which is accused officers shall be afforded the following due process. Basically, in a way, this resolution is bypassing the Constitution.
It's complying with the Constitution with the absence of a chair of your governing council.
So any more discussion? Senator Rahman?
Senator Rahman, all right, this is an interesting night. So, with all that on the floor and in mind, I would advise motioning to table this resolution until a DPO can be appointed.
You just approved.
Okay, my apologies.
Is there any more discussion on the floor? Please, I want you all to be silent at this point. Is there any more discussion at this point? Is there a motion to approve this resolution? Oh, sorry. Ron, I need clarification on this. So right now, this resolution is accepted as it is in this form, right? That's the motion. That's okay. So all those who wait, I'm kind of confused at this point. We accepted this resolution, right?
So now, right, this was all part of new business, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at that point, if there's any other new business to wrap up, otherwise you move
forward to the agenda. Because this matter's now been resolved.
So right now, that means the impeachment proceedings will go through.
Well, right, the process will begin.
Okay. And is there any other new business on the floor? Senator Coakley?
I had a question.
Yes. Yes.
Question, and probably like the final question about this. We didn't vote to pass this. We voted
Yeah.
to.
That. Wait. That's that.
Okay.
And so, is there any other new business? Or Senator Ellington, do you have any question or concerns? Is there any other new business? Oh, question. Oh, there's a question from the audience. Yeah. Is there any other new business? Seeing none. Now, is there any announcements? I'll go with Director Keller and then Senator Ellington.
Thank you. First, I'd like everybody to take a deep breath. Ready? I'm serious. Are we ready? In for 4. You're not breathing. In for 4. Out for 4. I'm serious. Is everyone doing it? All right. So I would like to talk about KSU Miracle. So let's switch gears to talking about the kids. So I had a meeting, and I forgot to say this to my director report, but I had a meeting with Arslan, who is the campus relations head for KSU Miracle, and he has told me that there is a 50% off discount code going through until tonight is when it expires for Dance Marathon. So Dance Marathon is on March 2nd from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's going to be on the Kennesaw campus in the university rooms. And this is going to be so much fun. I've got the recruitment video, and they've got like a rave. They've got some Choa kids there that we can dance with, like all kinds of stuff. So I know my committee yesterday did a wonderful job and signed up. Most of them signed up for Dance Marathon, joined the team. So if you guys want to do that, I would more than advise you to do it tonight, because the price is usually $25, and right now it's only $12.50 as your registration fee. So I will put that in the group me along with the discount code, the link where to sign up, and the discount code for you to use. Then he also mentioned that on February 7th, there's going to be another event. This one's kind of like catered towards ladies to raise money. Don't wink at me. Raise money for the Choa kids as well. It's going to be just a really fun men's fashion show. There's going to be food, good time there. So if you want to know more about what KSU Miracle has going on, please let me know, and I will put this in the group me. Thank you.
Is there any? Yeah, Senator Ellington.
Hello, guys. Well, on a good note, I'm planning an event for hopefully the next Marietta meeting, which will be February 13th, the night before Valentine's. So I don't know what you guys are doing the night before, maybe bringing in Valentine's a certain way. But after the meeting, we're going to try to go to Andretti's across, right across the street pretty much. It's half off that night. So we don't really have any funds to put towards, but if you guys want to hang out and race each other and have a little fun, everything's half off. I talked to the manager up there. She said you could have fun for $20 that night. So if anybody would like to join me and a couple other people that are probably on going out, we could have a little good time. So I will hopefully remind you about that next meeting, but I'm giving you time to save up for the $20. It's a month in advance. I want to go racing, go bowling, all have a little fun. So, put that in your calendar, hopefully. Thank you.
Senator Duclair.
Hey guys, so tomorrow at 6:08 p.m. in the rec center, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is having an African dance class. So come let loose, shake a little something, because there's a lot of stress in here. So come have fun, and hope to see you guys there.
Is there any other announcements? Our former Vice President Iggy.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? All right, so a couple of things. Where to begin? I sat here and watched the meeting, rather baffled. Take that as whatever way you may. Few things to point out. One, every time you guys said I motion, I cringed and died a little bit on the inside. It's I move. It's a verb. You have to move. You don't motion. It's I move. So that's the first thing. Start with the simple stuff. Another thing, so one, it states in the Constitution and bylaws that if a senator misses 3 or more meetings with unexcused absence, that they are to be removed. So they didn't even need a resolution. Those senators need to be just removed. And Masood, during your thing, you reread the oath that everyone takes when they go into office, which is upholding the Constitution, which is what you just failed to do right there. So that's another thing. 3, you guys probably shouldn't wait for a DPO to come in, so I'm happy that you guys passed that resolution. You guys need to move forward with things that are going on and fill seats as you guys go. Another thing, you guys really need to look over it and go over your Robert's Rules of Orders again, because with Robert's Rules of Order, all those motions that you guys did, half of them were pointless. So you guys need to go over Robert's Rules of Order again. I would recommend that you guys do it during open forum during your next meeting and go over how Robert's Rules of Order should go during a meeting. That's it.
Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, just a point to clarify, there are free copies of Robert's Rules of Order PDFs online. Please use Google, please.
Is there any other announcements from the audience?
Danica Roberts. So most of the things that I was going to say, Iggy actually already said. Thank you, Iggy, for bringing to the floor things about like Robert's Rule of Order. It is literally how you keep order in these kind of meetings. If you cannot keep order, there will be chaos. So please, seriously, make sure you guys go over those, as you should have the first semester. The second thing is the bylaws online, that copy is a track changes copy. I can literally see the deletions of things that were previously there. Whoever is in charge of that, and I know who's in charge of it, y'all should know who's in charge of it. Whoever's in charge of that, can you please make sure that it is corrected? Because that is unprofessional. My last thing, the meetings for this semester are not current on the website. I had to go to reservations.kennesaw.edu to verify that this room was going to be used for this meeting. And I heard also by word of mouth. Once again, the person who's over that should be doing their job. And so when you see something like an impeachment proceeding or that people should be removed, don't get emotional about it. I know it's easy to do so. This is a hard thing to do. I've been in SGA for years. But look at what's stated and simply ask yourself, is it true or false? And I want you to think about that as you go into impeachment proceedings, because we have had it before, and it was a hot mess. That is all. Thank you.
Senator Ellington.
All right. Well, I have a question now then. So since the first resolution didn't have to even be a resolution, those people are now gone immediately just by the Constitution being upheld, if you're going to uphold it, or if, this is no impeachment process, it's strictly.
Currently, to clarify to Iggy, I wasn't against removing them. I was against removing them by the use of a resolution because I was concerned that any kind of in the future, these kind of resolutions can be used to bypass the Constitution, as we just did for the 16.2. So my main concern was basically the use of resolutions is to pass a legislation that is to enforce something. And Constitution is really clear on some things like the procedures leading up to the impeachment, the removal of the officers. I wasn't aware of the number because it was previously kept off on track by the Secretary, but I was against using resolutions for those kind of things. The officers who actually miss these meetings and how they're like as outlined in the constitutions will be removed based on how it is written in the constitution. But in the future, I won't be using my objection was against the resolution, basically. Thank you. Senator Benitez.
Am I allowed to ask a question since we're all, okay. So, why? My question is why? If these resolutions had to be passed, clearly people weren't doing their job. Why did it take a resolution for this to pass? And I understand this falls on me because I'm part of the Senate as well, but somebody's not doing their job. Whoever that is, I don't know. Don't know if they're here, don't know if they're not, but it shouldn't have came to a resolution.
So, as you know, with the past 2 days, there has been resignations. And I took over the position of the president as acting president basically day before yesterday. And so far, a lot of the things aren't yet clear for me, but I try my best to go according to the Constitution, and this job is as new to me as a newborn kid who comes into this world and pretty much looks at what is going on. But I know what my job description are, but I haven't actually done that till now. So I'm still figuring stuff out. But let me clarify to you, as you asked, whether there were jobs that were not done. Yes, there were things that were not there were some things that were not actually functioning smoothly. And we were working really hard for that. I don't know why the reason was, because there were sometimes the accountability was not, there wasn't any accountability. Part of it might be the lack of communication at that point. I don't know who is responsible for it, but this resolution actually brought into light the rights and wrongs that are going on in SGA. What I can assure you from now on is that I'll make sure that the things are going according to how it is supposed to be. Until now, I'm sorry, I was not properly in charge, but right now I'm in charge, and I'm assuring you guys that right now I will make sure that things go according to how it is supposed to go. If there is any accountability if there is a need for accountability, yes. If there are people who are supposed to be removed because of violating the Constitution, yes, sure, they'll be removed. But as I said, I'm still trying to take the job step by step, because there are a lot of important things that I need to address right now. And first I'll go with Senator Coakley, then Senator DeClaire, and Director Keller.
Senator Coakley, I'd just like to clarify through you, Vice President, or President, Acting President Salah. Is it the case that the Vice President presides over the DPO in terms of disciplining them if they're not doing their job?
Yes, and last semester, with the information that I was given, I was given the information that things were going smoothly until I realized otherwise. I contacted the DPO, but to be honest, by then things got messed up, and we had resignations and things. Yeah.
I'll make the point. Resignations didn't start until a week ago.
Yeah, as I said, until in the last the last semester, I'm not a person who tries to micromanage the people. If there was anything that was going wrong, it wasn't until like December that it was brought to my knowledge. And I mean, as you know, I was out for almost a month and a half. But yeah, please.
I'll make this point.
Yeah.
In December, we had at least 8 meetings up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Senator Snell and Senator Cruz had missed more than 3 meetings by that point.
Please, Senator Claire, before we actually go into that.
I just wanted to say this. This is me starting my 4th year in SGA, so obviously I've had a lot of time. One thing that you said, and remember, like Danica said, nothing of this is personal. I love you all as people, but this is business. Accountability is not something that's supposed to be thought of after the fact, and I think that's the problem here. You saying, oh, well, from now on, everything will be okay. The problem is that things have been wrong for a while, and I know for a fact that discontent was expressed multiple times by multiple people, and because the people who have now resigned, and I don't speak on people who can't defend themselves, but when people take their own self-interest, once they're given these opportunities, and then they throw all those things that they were fighting so hard for to get the position, and then they don't live up to it, there's no excuses that can be made. And as Iggy said, we all sign an oath. We all do. So you can't backtrack and say, well, we didn't know, because we all sat in front of each other and said the same things. So just remember, it's not personal. It's business.
I clearly get it where you're coming from. And as I said, last semester was a bit of up and down, and there has been a lot of things that weren't done correctly. I acknowledge that. And what I want to make sure is we are past that, and if we want to go with the impeachment proceedings, yes, it is supposed to go as it is outlined in the Constitution. But right now, what I can assure you is that at that point, when the job wasn't done, a lot of the problems were much more related to the communication. Things got to me a lot later. I'm talking as a vice president right now. I received much of the information very late, and I've been trying to correct that ever since. As you know, if things go wrong, it's not easy to correct everything in one day. And please, Senator Coakley.
Being that you, as acting president, now know the wrongs that were committed in missing 7 and 11 meetings, are you willing to remove these officers?
Yes.
Right now?
We can't do that in the meeting. Is there, Senator Watkins?
Okay, so my question is, So my question is, all right, so I understand that by the Constitution, these senators were supposed to be removed if they missed 3 meetings. That didn't happen. We then passed the resolution failed, saying that they were going to get kicked out. So now do they stay in until they miss 3 more meetings?
No. They basically, it's abided by the Constitution to actually remove them, so we are going to remove them. As I said, the resolution to remove them failed, but we need to actually follow the Constitution and remove them because they actually missed 3 meetings without an excuse. First, Senator Snell.
Senator Snell for the Back Row College of Education. So my first question is, without having our old secretary here, how can we confirm that those accusations are 100% correct and that I missed 7 meetings exactly?
We have record, right? We have record kept by the previous secretary on the people who had excused absences and unexcused absences, and it's based on that.
And with her resigning, I'm saying she didn't fulfill her duties. She didn't continue to fulfill her duties.
She didn't actually, let me clarify that to you. She resigned, she didn't get impeached for not fulfilling her duties. She resigned, and there is a clear distinction on not doing their duties and resigning.
Okay, well, since she resigned, she was able to continue to fulfill her duties. Since she resigned and was not able to continue to fulfill her duties, how can we tell that? Because, let's see, how can I put this? She's not here to validate that all the things she said was correct. So how can we say that they're correct?
Because she kept records on, I'll give to the interim secretary, Dykes to actually.
Hi, just to clarify, we have access to all of previous Secretary Gumby's records, so we can see everything that she had done and made previously last semester.
Is there any other questions or concerns? I know this is a bit of a shaky start, but with the recent developments that have been going on, it is okay to get confused and shocked to be a bit at this point, but what we need to make sure at this point is to get all together rather than having divided opinions and personal biases against each other. Please come together, because the more and more we try to divide the Senate, the more and more it gets worse. Things will go according to the Constitution, and as, is there any, yeah. So, as I can say this, things will go according to the Constitution, and a lot of the, as I said, jobs, if they weren't done properly, things should have been brought up, but I was not in charge at that point. So I cannot speak for anyone right now. But what I'm saying is I'm in charge right now, and from right now on, we'll keep things according to the Constitution. And Director Weiss and Director Keller, and then Director Delaney.
Director of External Affairs. I don't really want to comment on this right now. I do want to say one thing, though. everyone who was originally involved and through the end of the both resolutions that were presented tonight, personal bias was not the nature of anything mentioned in those resolutions. Everything written in that and every section of that was purely based on the Constitution and the bylaws, and most of those things have been brought up previously. I do want to make a note of that. So.
Senator Keller, Senator Delaney, and then Director Keller, Director Delaney, and then Senator Bradford.
Just for clarification, we've been saying that you're now in charge. Do we have to swear you in, or how are we filling this role of president?
So currently, there is no line of succession as outlined in the Constitution for the role of president. But however, we have a line of succession of chairs as to how to run the meetings. So very soon, as I said, I am not the actual president right now. That's why I put the term acting president. Very soon, there will be a constitutional amendment to outline the succession line in the Senate. And very soon, as I said, I don't want to wait until the next meeting. I might hold an emergency meeting. I don't know. But this is something that is really important at this point. And there will be a constitutional amendment to have a line of succession to our Senate, to our position of the president. And first Senator Bradford, and then Senator Ellington, Senator Watkins.
So what it seems to me is that somebody, I'm not going to say a specific position, wasn't doing their job correctly and adequately gave information to their higher ups, and then proceeded to resign and left things to fall apart. So now we're going to clear house on people who were misinformed. But even though I see the reason to move on this way, but I just want to make it known that it's not personal and it's not all everybody's fault. But yeah, I don't think it's very fair that they can do that and then just up and leave. I just want to make that point. I don't know why.
Senator Ellington first, and Senator Watkins after that.
Okay, so about this DPO position, because this is the main position that needs to, be figured out. And then I don't know what we're running on time, but 10 minutes. Okay, so I guess for you, since you are the acting president, vice president kind of right now, do you have the power to appoint a DPO? Because you were in charge of the previous DPO, which didn't uphold the Constitution. So then you weren't upholding the Constitution.
So sit down.
Yeah, so now I kind of think we need a DPO just so moving forward, we can literally have somebody that can, guide us down the promised land. So maybe while we're all at least present, is there a way we can figure out how to? Okay, and then all right, but real quick, can we move to extend the meeting?
No.
We still have 10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes though, guys.
All right. Doctor, do you want to go or do you want to? Yeah.
Okay, so I think again, when questions arise, you go to your Constitution, you go to your documents. So, I don't really need to be on tape there. So vacancies in SGA are spelled out in Article 15. Now, again, whether your Constitution is well written or not is something we can debate offline. However, what I will tell you is what your Constitution requires is that between elections, students interested in filling a vacant Senate or Executive Board position on SGA must fill out the pertinent form on SGA's Our Life page. So at this point, while there is an acting president, any student who wishes to express interest in serving in the vacant role of president can go on your SGA website and complete that Our Life form and has the right to do so. And other positions that are currently vacant. So there has to be a process. Now, the thing that makes this a little wrinkly is the fact that normally your SGA president is the one who then would, at their discretion, present applications to the executive board. So since the presidency is the vacant position, this is the challenge. And again, this is where we will work with your advisor, Dr. Lunk, and we will have to get you a permanent president and get the presidency solidified as quickly as possible. That is important that we finalize that presidency.
Interim Secretary Dykes.
Senator Dykes, hi. We passed a resolution last semester to add a requirement for incoming presidents who have served a certain amount of time. What was the time frame? At least one semester on SGA.
Right.
Would that still apply in this case? Okay.
Absolutely, right. Whatever the qualifications are for whatever vacant positions still apply. Absolutely.
Senator Watkins, then Senator Coakley.
Okay, so my question was, I'm not sure if it's in the Constitution, but you're acting president, can you be acting president while going through impeachment processes?
Dr. Sanseviro, I'm helpless here.
So there are things that are specific by rule, and there are things that become one's personal reflection and choice. So there is not anything in writing that prohibits a person from acting in a role while they are under impeachment proceedings. So that becomes the personal choice of the individual. And so, again, what the body would have to consider when you're looking at, because it's going to require the passing of Senate to vote on who your next president is. So as quickly as you can get that process moving, and again, we will talk tomorrow and help you get that process moving, that is something that's for the Senate to decide as you're looking at who are the candidates that you believe are appropriate to consider for that position.
Senator Coakley? And any other questions, announcements? There is one from the...
I just want to make one more quick comment. It is clear who takes what position when that position is vacant. It is clear in the bylaws. I implore all of you to go read your position description in the bylaws so you can understand what your position specifically is, what your role, what your job in SGA specifically is. Because I think that one of the problems is that many people may not have known what their responsibilities were, and that is why they did not act upon them. That's not an excuse, but I just, from seeing what happened tonight, I think that's one of the biggest problems. So I implore all of you to, by the next meeting, read what the position you are serving does. It's in the Constitution or it's in the bylaws. I implore you to read both of them. Thank you.
Is there, Dr. Sanseviro?
So just one more quick moment of personal privilege. Thank you, and I appreciate the recognition. So, as we've been hearing how many years everyone's been serving in student government, so this is my 33rd year serving in as a member and/or advising and/or working with student governments on college and university campuses. So I've seen a lot. I even wrote a little book about student government. You're welcome to look it up online. And so the first thing I'm going to say is I love KSU. And I believe that that is a sentiment that you all share. And part of my love for KSU is my commitment to service to students. Not just the students I like, not just the students I agree with, not just the students who share my opinions and thoughts on things, but every student. And that's the commitment you all have made as well. And so I appreciate the fact that you all are going to do the right thing as a body, and you're going to continue to, in your best ability, serve the entire student body of KSU, because I know that's a commitment that we share as owls. Also know that we are here for you to assist you in this. We all find difficult times in our organizations and as individuals. Now, in an ideal world, I would invite you all, if you run into difficulties, let us assist you, when at all possible, to resolve things at the lowest possible level and hopefully in our offices. We've reached the point where we are. None of us have a time machine, so we can't go back. But do know that as we move forward, if there are conversations that we need to have, We are here to assist you in those conversations. So know that we have open doors. We are here to assist you. If you want to get together and talk through certain things before you move into formal action in a student government meeting between now and, let's say, January 30th, we are here to help you with that. So whatever we need to do to help serve you so you can best serve our students, that's the reason we exist, and that's what we're here for. So just know that our doors are always open for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zanzaviro. And there's only 2 minutes. If any of you want to make a last comment or announcement, Senator Coakley.
Senator Coakley, I'd just like to push home the point for all of you guys that a lack of knowledge in terms of what your role entails is not an excuse.
Senator Bradford.
I just want to say I partially agree with you. Like, I agree with you. It's not excusable, but there also is a chain of command that I believe should be followed in most of our cases, and that's how you avoid most of drama and situations. So even though I don't disagree with you and your resolutions, but I feel like you should have went about it a different way, both of you. Even though he's been the only one speaking, you're just as part of it as he is. So I feel like there's a chain of command that needs to be followed, and that everybody needs to know their position and play their role and know their own jobs and stay in their own job positions. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. It's almost time. Is there a motion to extend or to adjourn the meeting? Senator Smith?
I see how it is.
Is there a second? Senator DeClaire? All in favor of adjourning the meeting? All opposed to adjourn the meeting? This motion does pass. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.